Hello and welcome to week 4 of the Sydney Shawl call. I hope you've enjoyed yourself so far. You enjoyed the techniques and the stitches that we've learned together. So this week we are going to tackle cable work. Cables, they might seem quite complicated, but it's actually very simple principle. You take your stitches and you swap them around. So you can swap them around left or right depending on where you want your cables to be leaning. And I'm going to demonstrate everything just in a moment. So for this section, the cable section, we are starting at row number 75. We start with 2 increases, and again they are always paired with knit stitches. So we will work 1 Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, and now we're going to start working our cables. So we will in Tunisian crochet you can work cables with Tunisian simple or Tunisian knit stitch. So I chose for this particular project, I chose to work the cables with Tunisian using Tunisian knit stitch, and we will work the cables over 6 stitches followed by 6 stitches in Tunisian knit stitch. So we first there are several ways how you can work your cables. You can use cable needle. If you don't have specific cable needle, you can use a hook which is a similar size to the hook that you are using for your project, or if you are really adventurous, you don't need to use your cable needle at all, and I will show you all 3 techniques. So let's start with using a cable needle. So you start with 3 Tunisian knit stitches. You then take your 3 stitches over on your cable needle. You will work and you keep the cable needle at the front because these cables that we are working are left leaning. That means you are keeping your stitches at the front. You then work another 3 Tunisian knit stitches. This makes it 6 in total because we are working these cables over 6 stitches. Then you take your cable needle and you slide your stitches onto the crochet hook. So as you can see, the stitches which you worked first, you swapped over and you placed them in front of the stitches that you worked after. And that's it. You follow this by 6 Tunisian knit stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now I'm going to show you how to use your crochet hook, which will be basically the same principle as the cable needle. So we work 3 Tunisian knit stitches. This is the first half of your cable. You then take your spare Tunisian crochet hook or normal crochet hook. You place your stitches on the crochet hook. You work 3 more Tunisian knit stitches. And again, you take the loops on the crochet hook and you place them back onto your working crochet hook. And so this would be the second cable we've done for row number 75. We now work 6 Tunisian knit stitches. Four, 5, and 6. So now I'm going to show you how to work the cables without using anything. So we work 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You now then very gently take this loop off the hook. So you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 3 loops go in front, so you place the second 3 loops on your crochet hook and then you go on and place the first 3 loops on your crochet hook. So this requires you to make sure that you don't turn your stitches around, that they are in the right direction. And these are the 3 different ways how you can work your cables. You can choose the one that works for you, that works for your skill level, for your confidence, or you can start with a cable needle and maybe work some of the cables with a cable needle and then try to work them without. It's entirely up to you. No method is wrong, no method is the correct one. It's the one that works the best for you, is the one that gives you the best results because you enjoy working the cables. So again, the cable is followed by 6 Tunisian knit stitches, and you repeat this stitch pattern of working your cable over 6 stitches, then working 6 Tunisian knit stitches all the way to the last 7 stitches. You will then work the very last 6 stitches in Tunisian knit stitch, followed by an end stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, we are now at the end of the row, so we've got last 7 stitches left. We will work Tunisian knit stitches into 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then edge or end stitch. Standard return pass with decrease. That's yarn over pull through 2, yarn over pull through 2. So this is the same standard return pass as we worked up to this section, so you've mastered this already. I'm only now coming up to the section where we've crossed the stitches, so we're coming up to the cable. So just a word of caution, because the stitches are swapped around and this tightened them on the hook, we need to be a little bit more careful when we are working the stitches off so they don't get lost. What I mean is, sometimes as you are working this off, you can pull through 2 of the stitches at once by accident, or you can drop one of those loops. So when you get to these cable sections, I would just say to be a little bit to pay a little bit more attention to make sure that we worked all of these 6 stitches properly and we wouldn't lose one. Number 76, we will increase 2 times at the beginning of the row, and we will work Tunisian knit stitch across to the last stitch, which will be the end stitch. So we will work Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase. Now we get to the section, sorry, there will be 2 more Tunisian knit stitches. Now we get to the cable section. So again here, because we swap the stitches around, this section gets a little bit tighter, so we just need to make sure to be careful to make sure that we work 6 Tunisian knit stitches over this section, so we wouldn't miss any of these loops. So what I like to do, I like to just place my finger in the middle to separate the stitches, to make sure that I work the first 3 stitches. So there will be 3 Tunisian knit stitches. Then I take the second 3 stitches and make sure that I work Tunisian knit stitches in those. and we continue working Tunisian knit stitches for the rest of the row up to the last stitch, which will be the end stitch. Something similar is happening or will be happening for row number 77, although we will have 3 increases at the beginning of the row, and then we will work Tunisian knit stitch across to the last stitch and work 1 Tunisian end stitch at the end of the row. And then from row number 78 all the way to number 104, we will work the cables as per the instruction. So there will be 1 row where you work cables, followed by 2 rows of Tunisian knit stitch across, and we will repeat this for the rest of the section. And I'll meet you at row number 106 for the color work for this section. Welcome back. So we finished our cable section. I hope you enjoyed this cable pattern. Now we are going to move on to the color work. So we are starting with the row number 106. So we are starting in color C, and we will make, or we will do 2 increases. So Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, and this will be followed by 2 Tunisian knit stitches in C. So we are going to make 1 Tunisian knit stitch and second one, and now we are going to join color A. So again, as in the previous sections, I like to start with a loop. I then go into the next stage as if for Tunisian knit stitch, and once I'm at the back, I put the loop on the hook, which would count as a yarn over, pull up a loop, and then wrap my long tail around the yarn at the back. I then work a Tunisian knit stitch into the following stitch, and we will repeat this pattern up to the last 2 stitches, and then we will work 1 Tunisian knit stitch in C and the end stitch in C. Okay, so I've done, I worked 2 stitches in A. Now I'm going to pick up C again, work the following 2 stitches in C, pick up A, work the next 2 stitches in A, and so on. So I'll meet you at the end of the row on the last few stitches. And welcome back. We are now on the last few repeats. So I'm now changing to color C, 1 2 stitches in color C, back to color A. So this is my last 2 stitches in color A for this row. Now back to C, 1 Tunisian knit stitch in C and end stitch in C. We now continue with return pass with decrease. So yarn over, pull through 2, change to A, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and we continue with changing colors after every 2 stitches all the way to the end of the return pass. So this will be for row number 106. Then you will work row 107, 8 and 9, working the stranded color work, and I'll meet you back at the row number 110. We are now at the beginning of the forward pass for row number 110. We've got color C, and A both at the front or at the beginning of the row, but we will need the color A at the end of the forward pass, so we are just going to snap it and move it on the side, and then we will work only with color C. So we need to do we need to make 2 increases. So we'll do Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, Tunisian knit stitch and an increase, and then we start our stitch pattern repeat, which is Tunisian knit stitch in the next stitch, followed by Tunisian slanted stitch in the next stitch, and we'll repeat that to the last stitch, which will be the end stitch. Okay, so we'll work 1 Tunisian simple, Tunisian slanted, Tunisian simple, Tunisian slanted, simple, slanted, Tunisian simple, slanted, and so on. We are now at the end of row 110. I've got last few stitches left, so I will do the last stitch pattern repeat, which is Tunisian simple stitch, Tunisian slanted stitch. Now I've got the end stitch to work, so I insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I would need to continue with yarn over and pull through 2, because I'm joining color A. I will only add the loop, which counts for yarn over. So I place the loop on the hook and pull through 2. I've wrapped my yarn around the other 2 ends, and we will continue with yarn over, pull through 2. I will work yarn over, pull through 2 all the way up to the end of return pass, and I will continue with color A, working the forward pass for row number 111. Then I will change back to color C at the beginning of return pass for row number 111, and I will then work the forward pass of row 112 in C. I will change back to color A at the beginning of return pass for row number 112, and I will work row number 113 in color A. This row is consists of increase and Tunisian simple stitch across, and the row number 113 will be the last row that we will work in the section for week 4. So I will then meet you back for the section for week 5. I hope you enjoyed this section. I think this was the most complex section. I'll see you in week 5. Bye bye.